Catching a bullet has to be one of the most fascinating tricks ever devised, but in reality, it simply doesn't work. Before we move on, this is a disclaimer. Don't try this. Don't play with guns. Stay safe. This video is only for educational purposes. The first issue with this is that the human hand is soft. To a hot lead bullet, it's like butter. To fix that issue, let's assume the demonstrator has a special Kevlar glove that blocks heat and damage. That still won't completely absorb the impact. Therefore, the hand bones might still break. But let's ignore that. Now, a fired bullet is the result of a chemical reaction, because when pulling the trigger, the firing pin strikes the base of the cartridge, igniting the gunpowder and propelling the bullet. Once airborne, the typical speed of a bullet ranges from 180 to over 1200 meters per second, depending on the firearm. At a distance of 10 meters, even a relatively slow bullet would reach its target in about 50 milliseconds. No human, or should I say no known creature, could react to such a speed, but like in shows, the person who shoots often aims for the performer's hand, so that's not going to be an issue. After being fired, depending on the caliber, a bullet can have an initial force of 4500 newtons, if not more. That's like being pressed down by a minicar. And that in fact is perhaps the biggest problem with this. A human hand cannot possibly control such a force, unless if the bullet has been traveling for a while, which will make it lose a lot of force due to air resistance and gravity. After several hundred meters, its speed might slow to that of a baseball, which could allow someone, if properly equipped, to catch it. Speaking of impressive feats, a Japanese person named Isao Machii, while being filmed, was able to cut a BB gun pellet which has the speed of 90 meters per second. Of course, there is no way he could have seen the pellet move or reacted to it, but rather, I assume he has trained himself to go by instinct and draw his katana at the perfect moment. As for the bullet catching trick, the shooter never actually fires a real bullet. He just pretends to load it, but he never actually does. Sometimes wax bullets or blanks are used, but the important thing is to create the sound and smoke of a real gunshot. The performer, on the other hand, has a fake bullet hidden in his sleeve, which he will pull out and display at the moment when he pretends to have caught the bullet that was never fired. Well, that's one way of doing it.